YouTube? Today we are working on the 350Z again. So today we are doing a very basic oil change. So the engine oil is extremely important to maintain. You gotta maintain it, you gotta change it, you gotta look at it, you gotta monitor it, you gotta top it off if needed. And the filter is also an integral part of that. So what we're doing today, basic oil change. We are using a Mobil 1 oil filter. I'll link it down below. And I'm also using Pennzoil Platinum 5W30. I will also link that down below. You might ask, why these two? Why the combination? If I'm using a Mobil 1 filter, why don't I use Mobil 1 oil? Because just because one company makes a bunch of products doesn't mean all products are created equal. I really like Mobil 1 oil filters. They seem to be great quality, they're heavy duty, they last as long as I need them to, and they just seem to be a great product. Their oil, I can't speak to. The only experience I have with their oil is when I dump it in a vehicle, and then I have this illusion of how much better it performs over another oil. So Mobil 1 on every vehicle I've ever owned seems to make a louder engine. Pennzoil, specifically Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, always seems to make a quieter engine. Not always, but in most instances. And this is not scientific, this is just up in my head. I've experimented with a lot of different oils, and every vehicle seems to have their own favorite. The 350Z seems to do good with Pennzoil, as do all the Nissans I've had previously. They all seem to really like Pennzoil. Not all vehicles are like that. We had a Chrysler Town & Country that, like Quaker State, it loved Quaker State. Quaker State made that engine so quiet, it was ridiculous. The F250, the V10, that one really liked the Shell Rotella, the gas truck. And the current F250, the 6.0, I was putting Motorcraft in there, put AMSOIL in there, quieted it way down. So none of that scientific, it's just what I've experienced and what I feel. I'm gonna sound super hip, not hip, woke, woke. But it feels that way to me, and that is what I've made my decisions on. So today we're going Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic 5W30 and Mobil 1 filters, both linked in the description below. This is gonna be an easy job anybody can do at home. I do recommend having somewhere to dump your oil. I go to my local auto shop. They both of them next to me take it. So other than that, let's get started. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm fully aware that this is a super dirty truck. We live in Arizona. This summer has been very wet for what we're used to, and I drive 100 miles a day to work and back through mountain roads and some dirt, and it is what it is, guys. Okay, let's go. We're always gonna be safe. We're always gonna chuck. So before we get overly excited and get this all the way up on the lift, I'm gonna pop the hood. And first thing I'm actually going to do is break open the crankcase oil fill port. Also the crankcase fill port, whatever you wanna call it. I'm just gonna unscrew that. This is just going to allow there to, not to hold a vacuum, which will allow all the oil to drain. Also important to note, we took this on a nice 20-minute long drive before doing this, so everything is piping hot. That allows the oil to catch any sediments that is in the system and suspend those sediments in the oil. So when you crank that plug loose on the bottom, it takes the sediments out with the oil, theoretically. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is your oil drain pan. This is your oil drain plug. I got some seepage going on. Oh yeah, definitely got some seepage. I'm gonna have to address that soon. Anyhow, this is your oil drain plug. I like to start with the filter because starting with the filter means my pan is not full of oil already, which also coincidentally means that when I drop the filter, as inevitably I'm going to, it does not gonna splash, it's just gonna fall on its own thing. So we're just going to grab this with your hands. Hopefully somebody didn't crank it on too tight before. I did this one, so it shouldn't be bad. And this will start spilling a little bit, so make sure your pan is in place. As you can see, not a big deal. Just be prepared. Okay, once you're comfortable with how little mess is coming out, go ahead and finish unscrewing your filter. Just make sure you dump it into the pan and not your floor. As you can see, it's going to continue to make a mess. My pan has a nice handy spot right there to let it drain. So then we're going to go ahead and grab our new filter. Some of these I'll fill up ahead of time. Times like this where it's a horizontal filter, I'm not going to. We're going to pull it out. And we're going to grab some of this oil we just dumped in this pan right here. And we're just going to coat the O-ring. This is just to help keep it from seizing in place once you get it up there. Also, make sure the O-ring came off on your old filter, which ours did. You can see it right here. If I peel it off, and it's not even going to peel off. That's another thing I like about Mobil 1. Like I said, good quality. Now, we're just going to grab your filter, your new filter, and put it on in place. You don't want to cross thread it. It should spin on really easy. If it's not, something's probably wrong. Okay. Oh, clean up your little dollops. And if you're working on your back like I used to all the time, you move your pan out of the way so you can get up there and you can put some actual effort into the filter. Like that. But just go till it stops. You don't need to crank it with two hands, just get it to where it stops. So once you've accomplished that step, you gotta find your... I have a 14mm wrench I'm going to use to break this loose. Again, this is all the way. So 14mm for me, and you're just going to break it loose. Okay, this is where you get a little messy. So I hope it came to play. Go ahead and unscrew. I keep pressure on the bolt until the very last thread, then I remove my hand as quickly as possible to eliminate as much mess as possible. Sometimes I'm lucky. Yeah, that wasn't actually horrible. Now you're just gonna let it drain. So I'm just going to take my crush washer off. I'm using OEM Nissan crush washers. Typically they have a rounded side and a flat side. I have not found it to make a difference as far as what side I put where. So I just throw it on like so. And then I will let it crush as it's supposed to when we get down there. All right, once you're happy with how much fluid is drained out, I mean, you can wait all day for this to stop dripping or dribbling. You can go ahead and put your drain bolt back in, leave your pan where it's at until you're done making a mess, which for me will be right now. So I'm gonna slide this pan backwards. Over here for now. Okay, so again, grab your 14mm or whatever size your drain plug happens to be. If you have the Nissan crush washers, you can just wait until you visually see it crush and gets a little bit firm. Or you can go to, I believe it's between 18 and 26 foot-pounds for the actual torque spec. It's not much. Notice I'm just using one finger at the moment, see? One finger is all it takes. You don't have to go crazy. One finger, see? And I'm gonna call it good right there. That's plenty good for me. So, you now have your oil filter in and your drain plug in place. Go ahead and clean up underneath because hopefully you're done. Pick your hood back up. All right, so this is where we took our cap off from earlier. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a funnel. Honestly, I have no idea where I got this funnel from. I don't even remember having it previously. I just cleaned the garage, that's what you get, you find new stuff. 5 quarts of the Pins oil. And we're gonna go ahead and just dump that in there. This should take exactly 5 quarts, so we're just gonna dump the whole thing in and check it when we're done. Nice thing about this car is because it takes exactly 5 quarts, you can just dump the used oil right back in this and take it back to the shop. Okay, get rid of our funnel. And we're just gonna put our fill cap back on, the crankcase filler cap. All right, so Oh, this is actually really hot. So now after about 15 minutes, so the oil's got to go all the way down across everything and drop into the pan before you can check it on the dipstick. So you got to wait a good 15 minutes. Check your dipstick, turn your vehicle on, let it idle for 10 minutes or so, get it nice and warm. Check for leaks everywhere, kill it, let it sit for another, like I said, good 10 minutes or so, and then check your engine oil, make sure that you are in an acceptable range, and keep on driving, guys. If you like what you saw, make sure you leave, if you liked what you saw, make sure you leave me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. I got a whole playlist on the 350Z and many other vehicles. There's more videos coming. I got a lot to do to this car before we move on to the next one, so check them out, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.